Please welcome America's service sales coach, Joe Crisara.
Welcome to the Service MVP Podcast, the show that helps home service professionals master high-value sales, build stronger client relationships, and grow their business like never before. Join industry experts as they share real strategies that drive results. If you're ready to level up your service game, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
It's the Service MVP Podcast.
You know, many owners hit the wall every hour without scaling revenue. How does the video platform Wheels help break through that ceiling of scaling the revenue? Can you get any ideas you can give us because that's really what it's going to come down to, right? How is this going to make me money? Can you give us some concrete evidence there for us? So, because I mean, obviously I am going to recommend this platform where I can see it, and I can't wait to get off this call and try it as soon as possible. I tell you that right now. But tell me, how can we make money with this thing? Because it's all nice and good, but how do we make money with it?
There's two things I want you to look at. Not only your top line revenue, but your bottom line expenses. A lot of people love growing that top line, but meanwhile, what about that bottom line? Because if you aren't making any profit, you know, there's my finance. Finally, the school paid off, right? So, concrete example: when that phone rings, you want to pick it up with your top salesperson, people that actually like to sell, right? Are great with customers. Mm-hmm. And now that they're not driving all over the city, or if you're rural, now they can take more calls. Remember on my example of cold calling people and they didn't even pick up the phone? So let's start by picking the phone up. Oh, I know that's a novel thought. So maybe you're not, check, when's the last time you secret shopped your own business? Do we pick up the phone? What does it sound like? One of my guys owned a car detail shop, and they cold called all 12 of their competitors. Like 10 of them didn't pick up, and the one person that did pick up was like, "What you want?" Like, what do people say? Like, don't take that for granted. Like, start there. Like, when they pick up that phone, and now what we're gonna do? Race to the face. Oh, yeah. I can send you a text right now, and you just show me what I see. Boom. So that's step one. So if you don't pick up, that person still needs their toilet fixed, or they still need their heating and air unit fixed. Your lack of being able to pick up that phone, you know, and well, how do I pick it up 24/7? Well, what Joe said earlier, maybe you need to get a virtual assistant overseas to pick up that phone, because nowadays you can get ones that actually sound really well on the phone. It's not like calling some call center and they represent you, and they'll even go on video, right? So we want to hit that first, because we already know that's going to affect my top line. I'm not even saying, oh, we're going to get you more business. Let's just try to capitalize on the business we got. Right. Mm-hmm. The second thing is recurring revenue. Remember that QR code we were talking about putting on the water heater, right? Mm-hmm. Boxing out Google. I'm your plumber. I'm your heating and air guy. I don't want you calling anybody else. Recurring revenue is the liquid gold of. The other thing is, now when your technicians are on site, you're probably asking them to sing, dance, play, close, do everything, right? We want our technicians to do everything. Yeah. Now you don't have to do that. Technician, fix the toilet. And what we're going to do is have that call by call person, or call by call salesperson, call that customer and say, hey, while Joe is on the property, do you want him to, anything else we can do? And can I introduce you in our platinum package that you upsell them, get your salespeople selling, get your technicians fixing, right seats on the bus.
That's exactly the case study I'm talking about. On the call by call management, it's like the service tech could give the information to the person who knows how to communicate better, and then that person can communicate with the client and give the options, and also have the options to replace it, because now we have the video. So instead of having to go out there, you can just deliver the video evidence of what we need to do on this job, so you can even show the client the videos that we have of this thing and whatnot. So this sounds like a really great platform.
Yep. And then the other thing to mention is just your bottom line savings, right? I mentioned the top line. Right now, the bottom line is gas in the truck. So when someone does call, there's three type of customers, right? You got the Amazon Prime customers who have read your website, have the 5 stars, have the money, and wanted you to fix it yesterday. You're going to close that. All you got to do for that one is pick up the phone, right? So you have that virtual call, close them. You have the other bucket of people that have no business calling your business. They don't have money. They are going to just use your free consulting, and then they're going to get their buddies and a box of pizza and fix it. But they had you drive out to give them all the advice on how to do it, right? So we want to box those people out, right? And then the middle bucket is like, okay, they got money. That's who I want to drive out to. I've seen your work. I'm driving out. I got to close it, especially those big jobs, right? So that's your bottom line. Says we're preventing those trips in the truck. Think about me at the gas station. That's all I'm saying.
I guess that would be also the second thing I was going to ask is, how does it save time? But I can already see just based on what you said, I know it sounds pretty obvious, but can you just give us a little bit on that? How much time do you think somebody saves per week by having this solution at LiveSwitch?
Yep. Well, I'll give you words out of one of my most recent customers' mouth. He hangs TVs and puts up audio visual equipment. He's
Mhm.
an army of one, he himself am
Yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah.
right? And he goes around his town. He started using our stuff and he came back to us and said, "Hey, James, you know what's so great about this is every day I've got a 2-year-old daughter. I get 2 hours back with her that I didn't have to be driving with windshield time." I was like, wow. So it definitely depends on your area, how much time you're going to save. And it's also going to depend on what free things you do. What are the free things you do in your business? I bet a lot of you guys do callbacks. And
Mhm.
callbacks are one of the most expensive things you do because you've already got paid, you've already gotten the job, and now you've got to send somebody back out just to hit the on button. How many
Mhm.
times have those Nest thermostats for all of you heating and air guys driven out for a 5-minute fix when you could have done that virtually, right? Or if you set up some kind of system that really, if you could just put your eyes on the project. So that alone, those are such expensive tasks in your business that you can start to eliminate or at least mitigate doing with things like this and still service the customer where they see you, you see what they're seeing, right? And especially if it's a normal thing. One of my guys installs sod, and it's normal for the sod to be brown or gray about a week later, and people flip out because they spent thousands on new lawn. Well, now he just, nope, that's normative. I can see it. That'll take care of itself.
This is really amazing because, there was a movement about 2 years ago where everybody's saying, hey, just get an estimate online from your websites, from your web page, or, they embed the estimate process and I've always kind of fought against it because I'm like, how are you supposed to give an accurate estimate, especially like a heating and cooling or plumbing? You just got to lay eyes on the job. You can't just, the ductwork isn't right size or the piping isn't the right size. You're selling things and you go out there. Now the reality is something different. How does LiveSwitch? I'm going to set this up as a really great one. This could be a good reel or a TikTok for us, I think. Tell us how LiveSwitch takes those situations where you want to do a virtual sales call by doing it on your website or doing it using an app. And how does LiveSwitch help with the broader shift toward that type of virtual service where you can get the price, but also get accuracy when you're diagnosing the system as well? Tell us about that.
Yep. So if you're taking someone through a wizard or a configurer on your website, look for cart abandonment. I bet it's pretty high.
Hmm.
Okay. That is a high dollar thing they're doing. If someone is configuring their bid right there, that's money sitting right there on your website. So to Joe's point earlier, you can have a button on the website that someone taps and instant video comes up. Oh, how can I help you? Like a bunch of our roofers use this because at the end of their wizard, it'll ask them what grade of roofing they want. And
Yeah,
so now
yeah.
the person can come up and say, let me tell you about this higher grade roofing, why you would want that over the basic. Okay. So a human face has the highest close rate
Hmm.
of anything. It's higher than chatting on, on the web, exchanging messages or talking on the phone. And the rate of close rate with a human face, and we have all the data behind it, is double that of just on blind bidding with the phone. And on property and virtual have the same close rates. And then sometimes the virtual has even a little bit higher. And people are like, why is that? Speed to lead, right? Because I'm fast. Because how many of you have booked that person saying, hey, I can come out in 2 days. I got you on my calendar. You call that morning of, hey, I'm on my way out. Oh, don't bother. I already got somebody. That's why it happened to everybody listening. That's when you lost race to the face,
Yeah.
right? You get that face in front of them. Even if you can't bid it fully there, you've still built the trust because people buy trust. They're buying trust. I want it fixed, but are you the guy I'm about to spend 3, 4, 5 figures on a thing? They still want that face. And that when you're willing to put yourself out there, your salespeople, you as an owner, this is where your game is going to be changed, right? I can't tell you how many times I have someone on their first day like, James, I already closed somebody on my first time, use it, paid for it in the first call. I'm like, yeah, I hear
Hmm.
this all the time, again, but I don't want anyone thinking that this is going to replace going on site fully. It will not.
No,
Okay.
no, no, no. But
Yeah.
I think there's people who are, like you said, there's that Amazon Prime buyer who just wants to do it that way. I think there's a lot more people who still want to talk to somebody face to face. But there are those people who say, "Hey, let's just get this over." And if they know technology and they can do it, I think it's gonna. And they're kind of a higher or they're a higher end more of a premium buyer, I would say too. So I think that's really where you could pick up some really good business like that. I think it's just another profit center in a way. It makes sense. I don't think it's a replacement, but I think it is a profit center there.
And if you're thinking this is too expensive, like, how can I have someone answering? I'm like, okay, well, let's add up how often these people are driving all over the place, how much you're paying for all those marketing leads, and we don't pick it up. This is not expensive. You're having to you're putting your players in different seats on the bus where they offer the highest and most value.
Well, thank you for listening and watching the Service MVP podcast. I want to give you a copy of my free book. Just click on the link below in the description and one will be sent to you from me personally. Thank you so much for listening.